All right, welcome you on. So another episode of the company podcast. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Usually we have entrepreneurs on the podcast to talk about what they're doing with their businesses, different hurdles that they go through. But today we want to highlight a different form of entrepreneurship. So this is DJ Eddy. She is another one of the best DJs in Sacramento. I know we have Prince Harry on. You guys are loving that. So we want to bring her on here to talk about not only her transitions from being a DJ to now also being an artist, but everything in between. So I'll let you introduce yourself real quick.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Eddy, Adriana, but formerly known as DJ Eddy. But yeah, I'm excited to be here and to talk with you guys today. And
I don't know this guy fitting on the side.
I never been on it yet.
Yeah. No, but welcome back to Mr. King Stevie himself. You know, a lot of you guys really like. Yeah, a lot of you guys really like this videos. I think you gave a great breakdown of like what we did with NLE as well. And we'll be drinking some wine, so you know it's gonna be a lot less formal right now. And we're just gonna kind of let Eddy talk through her story in this conversation. She's not drinking anything. We said that out there. But you said formerly known as DJ Eddy. What do you go by now?
I just go by Eddy, spaced out EDDY. But yeah.
Are you just trying to like distance yourself?
Trying to you know, grow more into as a recording artist, and you know, I'm still going to be DJing and what have you, but just more so on the singing and rapping side now is like where I'm trying to get into that bag.
I think that's crazy. Like honestly, the last podcast that we had, we were talking to Prince Harry about how he got started. Like, like what about you? How did you get into?
So I started dancing as like a hip hop crew dance, like crew or whatever. And one of my friends, that was like my quote unquote mentor, Nobody 916, he's dope. But he basically was like, yo, like you should start DJing. Like what, really? Like I've always like, you know, looked at DJs as like cool people and like everyone wants them around because they're just fun, you know? And I do know a lot of music and I know my counts because of dancing. So he was like, let me like, you know, give you a board, bought it for like 200 and then just kind of set from there. And then this was like back in 2020 and Prince Harry at the time was the Sac State DJ. And I didn't know him personally, only through socials, and a couple people were like, yo, like he's dope, like you should hit him up. So I DM'd him. I was just like, hey, like, you know, can I get a couple pointers, whatever. Went to his house for 30 minutes. He kind of showed me the ropes. And then from there, it's just like, yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even have any idea you guys were.
Yeah, I know. Prince Harry is the GOAT. Yeah, for sure. Showed me a lot of the ropes in Sac and, you know, with the DJ scene and everything out here.
I mean, you have a pretty crazy following right now. Like, how do you kind of walk me through that step by step? Like, did you ever hit a moment where you're like, damn, like I'm really doing this right now?
As of recently, I've been feeling like that. Like, you know, when I first started, I was like, this is going to be crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of support from my friends and family, of course. And then the group that I was like, you know, DJing with and so forth. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be dope. Like, there's not many female DJs in Sacramento, but shout out to all the female DJs in Sac. You guys are dope. I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of them. But yeah, no, things within the past year have really been looking up. And now that I'm doing music, I'm just kind of dabbling in every bag that I can kind of get into. Yeah. And so just kind of creating like my own quote unquote fan base from that, and just people who are going to mess with me, you know, they'll find me eventually, you know?
No, I think that's like the best way to do it. You know, something that I always tell you is like you built up a personal brand that's really nice. Like we went to the bars the other day and like your friends, they were talking about how like you came from overseas, like came back to Sacramento and you had just a completely different rebrand of you niggas in the back. But I'm like seeing that, you know, we just kind of connected right now. But like Stevie told me a lot about what you've been doing, and like transitioning and everything. So I'm seeing that you have a really strong personal brand that you're building out right now. Like, what would you say is a key factor? Like, is it like authenticity or?
Like a key factor in me changing everything you said?
No, like building your personal brand. Like, you said that you.
I mean, I honestly don't know how to answer this. I don't know.
It's no right answer to it.
I know. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to say the right or the wrong thing. I don't know. But building myself, it's just like making sure I remember where I come from and like not turning back and just looking at positive things, I guess, and learning from mistakes and just growing from that.
I think that's the right thing to say. Like,
right, I constantly tell her, like, we'll leave the studio or we'll just be kicking it, grabbing food. And like, I've told her multiple times, that never in my life, no more emotional on that, but never in my life have I met something that, like, I don't know if she's building her brand. We were just talking about this last week when she came back from LA, how she wants to start building content and all this stuff. But I think that this is just her. It's natural charisma. And I've told her that she's the only person I've ever met in this life so far that is the most destined superstar that I've ever met. Like she doesn't know what she's doing half the time. Like, she don't realize the impact she has because that's just her. Like, and like, we've had deep talks about it. Like, her parents are hella dope. So you meet her parents, you know who she is. Because you like, dude, her mom's cool as hell. Her dad, dope as hell. Like, so like, you look at them, you understand why she is the way she is. She's a born superstar. Like, I ain't met anybody like this.
Oh my God, he's gonna make me cry.
David, I think that's cool. It takes people around you to kind of give you an outside perspective on what you're doing, because I feel like when you're in the mix, you never really understand, like you said, the impact that you can have on people. Because right now, you're talking about the fact that there's not a lot of female DJs. Like, that's something I noticed as well. So like, now you just create a whole lane where people can be like, all right, if I'm going into the space, who can I emulate? Like, who has success here? And not only are you doing it in DJing, but then you're showing them that you can step in a rap, you can step into music as well. So I think that's pretty cool. But like, what made you decide to transition?
So I've been singing since I was like 3. And I basically, you know, went into DJing, dancing and everything like that with the end goal of always, I want to create music somehow. But I had to think of a smart way to do it, because a lot of artists just jump right into making music. They don't have any type of platform to build on. They don't like have a following and like this and that. I understand you'll gain a following from like, you know, creating a lot and whatever. But I was like, how can I be different than most people? And I was like, okay, well, I dance already. And then I started DJing and I was like, well, I can DJ and then build my following from that and then branch off eventually when the time is right. And I felt like this past year, the time was right, because I was like, you know, hitting like a peak of like everyone in Sacs like getting to know who I am, and like, why not just like hit them with something else and like see how they react to it. And like, it was a pretty positive, you know, reaction from everybody. And so, yeah, that's how I got into it.
No, I think that's dope, because I saw you popping up everywhere. Like, I think when you dropped, the first person I saw, you got a real friend right here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the first time I saw Sol, like, they posted up and he's like, yo, this is crazy. And I saw everybody else posting up that you're doing your thing. And this is kind of what we were talking about to the audience. Like, entrepreneurship is not, oh, I have an LLC, oh, I have a corporation, or like I'm building an app. It's, do you know how to make money?
Right.
Do you know how to monetize your skill set and get it out there? Because the number one thing they tell us in like in business and whatever is, if you don't have a platform, you can't ship a product.
Right.
So I think you went about it the right way. Like, my boy, his name is Carnegie, and like, shout out to him. Like, I really love bro. But he started off like really only had a following because he did a little bit of modeling, but he used that to then transition into his music by putting his music on his like pictures of him modeling.
Right.
And people are like, yo, what's this song that I already like how you look, now I like what I'm hearing, let's double up on that. So I think you kind of did something similar.
Yeah, no, for real. That's exactly.
Anyway, she being humble, keeping the best part of the story out. What Russ told.
Ooh.
I mean, Russ, like Russ, the artist.
Name drops.
I don't know, Steven, what did he tell me?
What did he tell you?
So to give a little background on Russ, I met him in 2016. My mom had surprised me with tickets to go and see him and got me like a meet and greet. And he was like, you know, my favorite artist at the moment, still is one of the people I look up to in the music industry and what have you, just because he's independent and, you know, has his own thing going and doesn't care about like labels and all that stuff. So anyways, I got a DJ with him. When was it? Like November?
October? It was like, I think it was either early October or last week of September.
Yeah, something like that, of 2021. And I brought him to Tiger, and we went to the back alley, and he was like, you know, chopping it up with people. And he's like, hey, everyone be quiet. Like, on some real shit, I need to say something. And I was like, oh no, what's he about to say? You know? And he's like, this girl right here can sing her ass off. Like, I don't know why she's DJing. She could sing better than me, and I'll admit that to anyone. Like, I started crying because I'm like, this is like someone that I've looked up to for so many years, and to hear this, and I hadn't put any music out yet. That was like the real sign to me to be like, all right, now I really need to get in my bag. And like, I was always really like afraid of what other people would think. And I think within the past year, I finally overcame that feeling of like caring what other people thought about like what I do and what I, you know, and it's just like I said earlier, people are going to find me because of like what I do. And like, I'm going to attract those people.
Don't gotta really force it.
Yeah. And yeah, so that was dope.
I mean, yeah, you kind of two out a couple stories.
That's a huge.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. I feel like in terms of what I'm hearing from you, you know, and I find this interesting for myself, it's almost paradoxical how to stop caring about what people think, you kind of need to hear it from your role model first. You kind of need that like push to jump off the ledge, and then once you do it, you're like, oh shit, I'm already falling. So it doesn't matter what I do, what I say, I gotta be authentic with me. Right. And then the people that flock to you, because I feel like, and this is something that we've struggled with, like Robert and I were talking about it right now. It's like, once you put out a product or a vision or image on the internet, it's wrap. It's like everybody has a comment on it. And if you don't stay authentic and they start breaking apart that image of you, you start internalizing it when that isn't even really you.
Right.
So you might as well step out, you know, be authentic, get that feedback and incorporate what's good, leave out what's bad. And I think, you know, checking out your profile earlier, I think you do it. Like if I go to your page and I'm like, okay, who's Eddy? This is who I am. Like you're not getting like a buttoned up version. You're getting like raw truth. And if I do that and then I hear your music, I see you DJ, now I'm not liking you because of your product. I'm liking you because of who you are, you know. Yeah. So I think that's pretty dope. I really feel like branding 101 is really just saying authentic for real.
Yeah, no, I could totally agree with that. What about you?
Shit. Absolutely. I mean,
my man's face is right over the wall.
Yeah, I'm getting a wine drinker about 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty cool.
Listen to his dad. Anything before?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not drunk. It's warm.
You want just a coat
You rubbed my right.
Not up, right?
Yeah, I did take Sarah little Rosie for it.
It's perfectly fine over here.
This was scripted. You wasn't on this like, hey, dog.
I need
send this to all the agencies of him taking the jacket off so you can start modeling.
Oh yeah, I got this on IG.
No, yeah, I feel like in terms of everything that I've been looking forward to doing though is like, how do you get into these rooms? How do you get into meeting people like RUSS? Well, you talked a little bit about that, but like in terms of networking and nightlife, how would you kind of?
So I think it all starts with, you know, how you are as a person. I'm very outgoing and I'm very easygoing at the same time. And ever since I was a kid, I was always like, hey, I want to be your friend. Like, let's be friends, like whatever, you know. My mom always told me that I'm like a people person and I don't know how to shut up. So I could use that to my advantage to get into these rooms, you know what I mean? And so who was the first person I met? The first person the famous person I met was Baby Bash at Applebee's in Natomas. And I don't know, but my cousin was like, yo, that's Baby Bash. Like, sugar, how you get so fly, Baby Bash? And I was like, what? Like, and I was just little and I just went up there. I was like, can I take a picture with you? Like, you know, my mom's just like, oh, this is raps. Like, you know, like whatever. And, you know, getting into rooms, I've met, like Isaiah Rashad, I've sang with him. I've met Sol back in 2017. I sang with him. And just getting into these rooms honestly started with getting meet and greets. And meet and greets weren't that expensive, you know, back then. And it was like $100 including your ticket or whatever. Now it's outrageous numbers. But full circle moment was with Sol actually. I sang with him in 2017 at Harlow's off of J Street. And then just kind of connected there. I was 17. And then I was like, hey, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, I'm kind of underage. I need to go, whatever. I just wanted to sing, whatever. And he was like, all right, like, I appreciate you for being honest. Like, whatever, you can leave, like, whatever. So we left. And then I went to the Joey Badass listening party and Sol was there in the parking lot. And I was like, hey, like, can I talk to you real quick? And he's like, yeah, like, what's up? Like, I'm about to leave. And I was like, nah, you're going to want to hear this. And I was like, I don't know if you remember, but I sang with you in 2017 and I started singing again. And he was like, empathy. He was like, yeah, we started singing it again in the parking lot. He's like, I'm gonna need your Instagram and your information. Like, you're hella dope, like whatever. And like, I guess the lady who was featured in that song was like the love of his life. And like, she had passed away. And so like, hits like hella like close to home to him, you know? And it was just like, he was like, I haven't heard anyone really bring that record up in a minute. And for you to like bring that up to me, like just really showed like that, like you're like true as hell. Like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, like, I'm like, this is a full circle moment for me, dude. And like, yeah, but it's honestly knowing people too, and like just being a true character to yourself and staying true to what you do. And like, you'll eventually find the people that you're meant to on your path, you know? So
I like your perspective on everything. You got like a pretty like naturalistic, it's like whatever the flow is, I'm kind of like move through that. I have issues with that where like I sit and plan for like.
I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had to learn.
What was that process?
Locking myself in my room and really just like, yo, this is how you have to look at life. Not everything is going to be spick and span and like in order. Like, you know, this path might take you to this thing, and then like this path might take you here, and you might have to zigzag to get to it, but you're going to get there eventually.
I think so too. I definitely agree with that. I feel like, bro, I wish my boy E could make it on this one, but you know, every time you pop
Every
up,
time, bro.
so
I see E-Man. That's my boy. Hey, shout out E-Man. All right? Because it's the second time I missed him.
nah, for real. But like something that he always talks about, you know, he's pretty religious, so he always talks about like taking himself out of the equation and like just letting God handle things. Like I'm spiritual. I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I feel like that's something that everybody can learn. Is like you can't go manipulate the universe, you know.
Exactly.
Like you got to kind of move with the flow of everything, and that's something I picked up from you as well. Because I think you talk about being like outgoing. That's a skill that I think 99% of people don't have it
At all. I think it's like a natural born thing. Like you can make yourself into something. Like specifically on the last time we were here, we talked about like, you know, like AJ saying I have fashion sense now. When I met AJ in high school, I didn't because it just didn't have the ability to have fashion. But like that's the same thing right now with you're making yourself who you are. And like I was saying earlier, you didn't even realize what you were doing. Like you're so genuine. You're born the way you are. You're charismatic. Not everybody has charisma, and that's okay. Not everybody's put in this world to be a superstar. Like that's why only certain people are famous instead of everybody's famous. So like it's just one of those things, like where you're born so special and unbelievable. And like something I want to ask about. I mean, we talk on the daily, but I'm trying to get this out for content and everything. Like your life has changed so much in the past 2 years from you starting. Like when the Tiger Garden popped up, you made that with Per Thursdays. Like when we were getting out of the pandemic, Eddy had where the ice rink is in Doco. She had that packed, hundreds of girls like just out there, just like singing their heart out. And then she would go from DJing to there's a band there. She just hopped on the mic, and like she's like, Eddy's not gonna sit there and be like, oh yep, I'm finna show people I can sing. There's an open mic, and she's out there and she's like, I'm just being me. Like that's what I mean. Like you're born natural like that. Like you're born an entrepreneur, marketing master. Like you know how to talk to people. Like, and we've had discussions on similarities between us and then the differences between us. And that's the relationship me and you have. And we connect so well. We talk so well. The way we connected immediately is how she connects with the world.
Damn.
Like, and I mean that. Like, because like you're born like that. Like, dude, I've been in the studio with her one of her first times ever recording. And then I was just in the studio with her last weekend, and it was a huge 180. Last week she's in there in sweats, had her shoes off, just chilling, you know, with some orange juice, like just chilling. And like I was coughing. I get a little cough in the winter. So I was like, let me not be in the room she's recording in. Let me go kick it with the piercer.
Why you sound like a old man?
Hey man, I get a cough in the winter. But I'm in there and like dude's like giving her cues versus the first time I go in there. He would say something, she'd be like, oh, like, what do you mean by that? And then she would hit it. She'd be like, no, like, that wasn't right. And he's sitting there like, yo, you're hitting this. It's quit doubting yourself. Versus, I was there last week, and she's over here like, I can't sing at all. But it's like, she hits a note, and then she was like, that's fire. Like, she's clipping herself. Like, you know, like, this is like hella growth, like, being born like that. So, like, your life has changed so much in the past 2 years. First thing I ever saw with you was you hanging out the side of the car singing Tupac.
Oh my gosh, I feel like
See his video, we'll throw it on this clip.
that.
But like your life has changed. So what has been some major impacts for you? Friend loss, friend gain, mentorship, like relationship with family and close friends. Like what has changed with the superstardom? Because people naturally in your life are always going to have an aspect of how they view you when you start growing up, or not growing up, blowing up. Like, you know, like, so what was like a huge hurdle for you of that?
Well, starting DJing, my family was supportive, but not supportive, because I quit my job, and so previous to me also DJing, I went to cosmetology barbering school. I graduated in March of 2021, and then I was working at Starbucks and I was working at a restaurant. And then I got a call from Robbie, who's a part of Hoss, at Tiger, and he was like, hey, you want to come start DJing, whatever. And I told my parents I couldn't juggle everything at the same time, and I was just going to put my trust in God, or like, you know, higher power, and just straight DJ, and they just weren't supportive of it. I was like, but believe me, I'm going to make a living off of this, and I'm going to do it. And I did. And I haven't had like a 9-to-5 in like almost 2 years now.
Feels different, doesn't it?
It's so different. Like, I'm like, dang, this is my life. This is cool. You know what I mean? But, you know, friendships I've lost a lot because, stupid things that I've done, but also, just you grow from people, you grow apart. And it's like, it just hurts to know that like so many like grew up with, you guys just drift apart, and it's just like you guys just are on different paths. And it's like, to know like bad blood or anything like that, but it's just like some things like that just need to happen in order for you to grow. 100%. And you have to learn from these like, you know, hard times, and take that as fuel and put it into your art and your work. And that's what I've learned a lot, is like like losing friends and all that stuff, and like, you know, hearing what they say about me after us not being friends anymore. It's just like I use that as fuel to like put into like my art.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to do it, because otherwise you just kind of sit on that and get bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I know for myself, like I grew up like traveling a lot, so I moved from Jamaica to New York to New Jersey, and then like I come out here and like I'm living in Napa, right? So I'm the only black kid in my graduating class, but I was just in the hood like a year ago. So that identity split is crazy. And my friends are seeing me online, even now. Oh, my boy called me up. He's like, yo, when you start sounding so white? And I was like, I got a bachelor's degree. Like, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? So, and it's just like, I think you made a good point. People are going to see you how they met you. They try to keep you there. They don't even understand that they're trying to limit you. And it's a measure of a friend to grow with you. Like, you don't clip a plant when it's growing. Like, you let that shit grow up how it's supposed to, and just like kind of take a step back from that. So I definitely feel like, you know, if you are moving through what you're moving through right now, and I think you use the right word, stardom. Like, a lot of people feel stardom when you get 1 million followers, or you're getting $3-4 million deals, but stardom starts when your dream is starting off already and you're going there. So, you know, I feel like shit, just keep running it up and like moving through this whole process. Like, what do you think your goals are now? What are 2023? What you doing this year?
Definitely releasing an album, or like an EP or something, but continuing music, you know, keeping DJing as paying the bills, and, you know, gonna eventually make the money off of my music and stuff. But
what venue you want to play? If you could play one venue, like, don't sell yourself short. Like, after a dream, like
One Up Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I already got that booked. But like, if like not even DJing, like performing music wise, and like you could go from the most realistic thing to the biggest thing of your dreams. But like this year, if you put this goal out there, like saying it out loud instead of keeping it in your head makes it reality. So what is your biggest goal this year for venue?
Well, this year I feel like I can grow big enough to eventually sell out or like play at Ace of Spades. Like that's like always been one of my dreams, you know, growing up, going to concerts. I was at a concert literally every weekend from like when I was like 16 to 18. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, my mom will like preach on that.
Her back deep in music.
And like just going to festivals and concerts and everything like that. Being from Sacramento, you know, you're going to a pretty lit concert if you're going to Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Ace of Spades. I'm not from
That's like a staple.
Yeah. No.
So I'm sure you've been to Iron Horse on our street.
Yeah.
So it's literally across the street from there. But like a lot of artists go there like right before they blow up. Like Jack Harlow, for instance.
Yeah, I heard Tory Lanez was there.
Tory Lanez, like Rex Life Raj. Nah. That's not. That's all where you go. Marty is the donor. The volunteer with the no pumpers.
Saying nothing at all. I just like
No retaliation.
yeah, playing with worship.
Oh.
We can cut that out.
um,
I don't even know who that is. Y'all.
You don't know what Tory Lanez is?
No, the other one was that.
Oh, Jackal.
No, both.
Rex like Raj.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. He's from Berkeley. Shout out Rex. You go crazy. But like Joey Badass was there too. Like all these people go. Like Ace of Spades is like the little like before you go to Golden One.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I mean, Memorial Auditorium, and then Golden One. But like Jack Harlow's like skipping Memorial and going to Golden One. You know what I mean? I feel like next tour around for a lot of those artists are gonna be like, you know, Memorial or Golden One. But for me, just getting started, you know, in October with my music, and by the end of this year, I feel like Harlow's or Ace of Spades would be a really good goal to keep in my head.
No, and I mean, look, I really believe in the power of manifestation. My background is in psychology, right? And one of the coolest things that I've ever learned is that there's this process called myelination. And basically what happens is when you think something, the neuron that fires that thought, it runs through a nerve in your brain and it coats it in this like material that makes it move through it faster and faster. So the literal more times you think about something, the more likely that you can accomplish it. Like it's a physical fact. It's not just like a whole like, this is like pseudoscience thing. It's like real. So I really believe that.
Chills.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, set it out. Think about it. Put it on paper.
What does that say right there?
Manifest.
Oh, right there.
Bring it. It's middle. I'll just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And it's crazy because like even today, like I was sitting with one of my mentors, Rodney, and we were talking a lot about how, and we talked about this last time, Sacramento has so much talent, but nobody wants to work together. Nobody wants to like, and I'm not gonna say nobody. My network isn't as big as like, you know.
It's gonna get
Yeah, but I'm like, there's enough food on the plate for everybody, and if you sacrifice a little bit here and there, everybody got more food on the table, and that's the big thing. Like, so if you're doing Ace of Spades, like I'm rocking with you. I can with anything you do, you know what I mean? Like event planning, marketing, all of that, because I love that idea, and I feel like, you know, putting it out there, it's not that hard once you decide to just go set your mind to me. You got the music, you got the crowd, you got the personality, you got the support. What else do you need?
Right.
Just gotta take a step out there.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally hear you on that. What were you gonna say?
So
What time?
if we're
Banger. Copian. What's today's? This what?
Did I watch it?
You know.
Oh yeah,
That's it. Literally telling you right there.
But you ready? Wow.
we're wrong.
What was your question again?
Oh, my question to you. So you're saying that Ace of Spades or Harlow?
Please, hold on. Sorry, wait. I might need to put more lip gloss on. I ain't going cap. I didn't do that.
A lot of shiny is that
I didn't.
Yeah, like clip that too.
Yeah, clip that. I keep the Aquaphor on. Keep my lips shining. Hey.
That.
Hey, fellas, this how you, if girls can wear makeup, we can do this. All right, keep the hair in your cheekbones, skin. It gives you like that natural glow that girls use makeup for. Put Aquaphor on your lips. Keep them shiny. It's straight. Pretty Boy 101.
Pretty Boy 101 and like hit him with that gravelly morning voice, like, hey baby, what's up?
Oh yeah, you gotta answer the phone like you're tired every time.
Every time.
You can just drink a Red Bull. 4 p.m.
How was that, baby? How you doing? And if he mad tired, like you gotta have the droopy eyes, like you're uninterested in anything. Yeah. Like it's just, I'm just here.
You gotta hit one of those black. Oh yeah, for. Neither of us fucking like that either, bro.
Both of us probably know, bro.
Bro, yeah, we really be like, oh, we're gonna act like we got game, like that. Oh yeah, bruh. Just I ain't got no game, bro. Like everyone be like, oh, bro, like yeah, no, I don't, bro. I just be saying dumb shit, bro.
And it's funny because I feel like a lot of people try to.
I feel like sometimes like girls be underselling me, like trying to make me seem like I'm funny. Cause I'm like, bro, personally, I don't think that was that funny. I mean, I you capping no.
No, what to see for white chicks?
I think they even ripping me like that.
Who's that?
First time saying it.
See how we gave it cut? I feel like they'd be bristling these. Okay, all right, we're back.
All right, funny. Investing your success, play Sol Blume shit. You might even end up next year Coachella, like, because you're gonna blow up because you're a star.
Nah, no cap. And like even off of the energy too, I'm already thinking, Manny, you said you wanted to come on the pod, so we're getting you next. But man, you know Man, right? From he's from damn Biddy, that's the rock with you. He's from Harlow's. So he set up like he's one of the people that
Yeah.
and he was asking to come on the pod and stuff. And I'm like you said, right now I really feel like you could pull the trigger or whatever, and it's just about providing value to people and then asking for it back in return, and then you kind of get everything that you need. So I'm seeing you as Sol Blume.
You're talking about teammate, right? Yeah, no, they go crazy. Shout out Sol Blume, Lost a Rhythm. But yeah, no, it was dope to be a part of Sol Blume last year with my girl Yelly. Shout out Yelly, she goes crazy. But yeah, no, she let me DJ for her, and it was a beautiful experience.
Talk a little bit about that. Like, what was it like?
So I was at Coachella, and I get a call from Tracy, the GOAT, who's in Pound
Oh, he is. Yeah.
I always say cosmetics. It's comics, okay? And he's like, yo, like, you want to DJ with Yelly at Sol Blume? I was like, what? Do I want to DJ? Duh. Like, I would be there, Like, I was like, that's my girl. We're going to rock this out. And, like, I was at Coachella, and then the next weekend I came home and did Sol Blume, and, like, it was lit. Like, I went there. I got to bring my mom. Like, I got my mom to meet, like, her favorite artist, Mitchell Jordan. And, like, she got to meet Thundercat. Like, I brought my little sister with me, too. And, like, it was just, like, a full circle moment. I'm like, this is why I quit my job. This is why I did this to get, like, here. You know what I mean? And, like, that was, like, the biggest step that I had, like, under my belt, like, as of, like, right then and there at that time. And being on that stage with someone I care deeply about, Yelly, and like a team that I care about as well, like that just felt like I felt like there was nothing else in the universe like that could hold you back from doing anything, And then I met my girl Fawcett for the first time. She's a DJ. She's Buddy's DJ and sister. But I was DMing her like a couple weeks prior, and I was like, yo, like we got a link at DJ, and she's like, well, I'm gonna be at Sol Blume, like I'll be in your hood. And I didn't know that I was gonna be DJing yet. And then I was like, wait, I'm gonna be DJing too. Like, what's good? Like, oh my gosh. And then like, it's just Sol Blume was a blessing.
No, that's cool too. And like surrounding yourself with like-minded people is always gonna put you in positions like that. I feel like that's the number one thing for me. I was at Davis. I was talking to E about this. We've been in business for about a year. We spent probably 7 months of that just learning. But in that time, we were networking so much that like we went to the Startup World Cup. We met like the CMO of Microsoft. Like all of these people were in business. That would be the equivalent to like I couldn't even throw it out, but like Microsoft just put 10 billion into a product as a startup. Like we have our own app that we're building out and stuff like that. Talking to those type of people, they can make a decision and change your whole life. Right. And that's what I feel like something like Sol Blume, where you get on that stage and you kind of make a decision to change your whole life. There's no way you can go home and be like, yeah, I'm going back to Starbucks today. Like, you know what I mean?
I did. No, I was just kidding. I did get a drink. Not to work. No.
I'm going to get an order.
But what's crazy is that Sol Blume was a really full circle moment, because I went to the first Sol Blume that they had at Cesar Chavez Park off of J Street. It was like smaller, and to see them grow to being able to do Discovery where they do Aftershock, like with 2 big stages. Like they had 2 stages, at Cesar Chavez, but like it was on a smaller scale because they were just starting, and it was something different in the city. They wanted to see how everyone would react to it and everything. And they reacted amazing to it, and they grew from that. And it was just crazy to see that I went from being front row at Sol Blume, those 2 years of it being there, to then finally it being at, Discovery Park, and now I'm on stage.
Yeah, and that was huge.
And in my hometown, like I'm born and raised in Sacramento, and it's like, I feel like it's hard for people to make it in Sacramento, and like for you to be on like a big like thing like that in your hometown, it's just like,
yeah, like I did that. Yeah,
shout out to Yelly, obviously, for bringing me along and stuff, because like she put in the work to get there, what have you. But
No, I mean, that's the same thing. Like, she wouldn't get you on that stage if she didn't feel like you were equivalent. Like, you know, you put in the work as well, too. And I feel like I agree with you with the whole Sacramento thing, because it's tempting to just kind of leave and then go try to build somewhere else. But it's like, you know, I'm from New York. The whole thing about it is you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I feel like that's a little bit of the same energy I'm getting from Sac, where it's like, if you can get Sacramento to rock with you, you can go anywhere and get them to do that, the same thing. There, man. That's definitely something crazy. You are someone that I want to see in New York. I'm not going to lie. Like, I do want to see you in New York and see that playground.
Oh, no.
The Puerto Rican
I that's those, but New York, Puerto Ricans, I know it's different.
Nah.
Like, like Puerto Ricans don't even speak Spanish properly, and then New York ones are different, right? But I mean, I'm down to check it out. I mean, like, me and Eddy talk a lot about, like, traveling. Like, you know, personally, that I lived in Tokyo for 3 years.
That's so crazy.
And, yeah, it was wild. And so, my homegirl, Faith, shout out DJ Kisto. Faith is amazing. She has a huge Instagram following before she became a DJ. And I literally was having sushi with Eddy, and I was thinking, I was like, dude, my homegirl Faith out in Tokyo, she's like the DJ Eddy of Tokyo. For like what you are for Sacramento, like she's like the only like female DJ that's like really popping like that. And like I've watched her like go from like playing small bars to like playing big clubs, and she's a resident at One Oak in Tokyo. Like I've seen so many famous people there. And so me and her just have a sushi, and I was like, yo, we should go to Tokyo sometime, like, because I always wanted to bring people to Tokyo, because I feel like I'm the dopest tour guide on the planet. I live there, like, and I know the spots, so I got like hookups out there, and like that was like where I became a man. You know, that means a lot. I was like, we should go to Tokyo, and she was like,
I'm trying to go to Tokyo.
Bro, you're
We all out.
No,
we're so there.
I remember this conversation because then I started looking at Airbnbs and I seen all the bunk beds and I was like, I don't even care what we see.
We bunked up in Tokyo. We bunked up.
I was like, wait, why are there all bunk beds or like day beds and stuff like that?
Small,
like no.
I'm saying, like, I'm like 6'2", 215, like, so.
You're going down. You're gonna have feet hanging out the bed. You have Achilles hanging out the bed. But so we're sitting there at sushi, and I'm like, dude, you gotta meet my friend Faith, DJ Kimiko, and I FaceTimed Faith, which is, I mean, Japan's like 17 hours ahead. They don't do daylight savings, so sometimes it's 16. But I knew she was up, and I told her, anticipate this call. All day at work, I was like, dude, I'm so excited to go get sushi with Eddy because I'm gonna drop this bomb on her. She doesn't know. Like completely unfiltered. She had no idea. And then I was like, Eddy, you gotta meet my homegirl Faith. So I had to introduce that. And I FaceTime Faith, and I'm like, hey, you gotta meet my homegirl Eddy. You guys are like the same. And like they're on FaceTime, like, oh my god, girl, you're so pretty. Like, but they're over here hyping each other up and all this stuff. And I'm like they're talking about DJing. And I'm like, hey Faith, what are the chances you get Eddy a gig in Tokyo? And like now she's a musician, so she got a lot more avenues. And like she was like, oh, easy. And like Eddy was looking at me like across the table. She was like,
This is when I first started DJing.
She was really good.
So this was like 2021, and we were sitting in the car getting ready to go to Tiger, like Tiger Garden or something, and he dropped that on me, and I was like,
she was sitting there like,
well, when are we going? I was like, what the heck? And she's like, well, like everything's kind of like closing and opening because of COVID and stuff. And so we were like planning on going at like the end of the year or something like that. And then like plans fell out.
She became famous. She goes to LA all the time. Now we're going in August.
You moving to LA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you go City of Sin right away. What's up, Vegas?
That's Vegas.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It's not. I wanted to go to the Bay, but I feel like that's too close to home and too comfortable, and I feel way too comfortable out here at the moment. Like, I feel like, you know, I talk to Prince Harry all the time, and it's like him and I being, you know, the DJs that we are in Sacramento, I feel like I've kind of accomplished everything here that I want to, and that, you know, I see for myself out here, and I feel like it's time for me to dip my toes into some other turf, and you know what I mean, and to make myself a little uncomfortable to, you know, want to grind for what I'm doing and stuff like that. So I feel like LA right now for like at least 6 months will be the best choice for myself, because I'm dipping my toe into music, and I could be out there with a lot of more of my musician friends and, you know, people who are tapped in with this type and this type or whatever. Like you said earlier, you feel like a lot of people in Sacramento think like, oh, like, you know, you have to leave in order to make it and then come back or whatever. And it's like, I believe that, and I don't believe that at the same time, because I don't want it to be like that for Sacramento. I want it to be like, okay, like you can make it here, and like you don't have to leave. You don't have to go to Vegas. You don't have to go to the Bay. You don't have to go to LA, New York, whatever, wherever you want to go. But like in reality, that's like the mainstream of like Sac and how it's taking it at the moment.
No, and I feel like, look, how I see your progression is a lot different than how I see other people do it. Where I feel like if you max out a resource, have to move.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that there was like a quote where it was like, if depending on the level of predator that you are, you can't drink from the same pool. Like if you're an elephant, you're not going to the same little like feeding hole. You know what I mean? Like you got to move to where the resources are enough to feed you. And I think with SAT, it's not like you were here, you saw difficulty, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna move to a bigger market. Is that you saw this market, you conquered it, and now you're trying to go build yourself in another market. And that's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of the fact that, and this is from a business perspective, I feel like Sacramento is it has, what is it? Horizontal growth in terms of business. Like you can go up a little bit, and then once you hit a certain point, all the businesses are pretty much the same. They're all making the same amount of money. Yeah, they all have the same audience. They all have the same vision. And it's like, where do I go from here? There's no room for innovation. So I think in that sense of it, the only thing that I would challenge you with is when you do touch right there, you're like, all right, this is what I learned. This is how y'all need to move. And now I'm going to give y'all a pathway to like, you know, create that next level for everybody. And I think you do that, they can't ask anything else of you. Like you outgrew a situation, you're going to go learn some more, and then you bring back some knowledge to where you're from. I think that's a nice cycle. So, you know, I have a lot of friends that are deciding to move to LA. Like I've never been to LA, funny enough. Yeah, like I haven't tried.
I'm going in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, just like, yeah. It's, LA is crazy like that? Yeah, like,
It's not like crazy, but like
I like to see a little better, but LA, like, I don't know.
people don't talk to us. Anyways, I would be your tour guide. You could be Tokyo tour guide. I would be LA tour guide.
Hey, see the famous.
it's just, no, but like, it's cold. One of my homies, Kaylani, like she was out here. She went through a very similar situation. Like I met Kaylani when she had like 10K on Instagram, and then like we're talking, I'm like, yo, you need to really ramp this shit up. And like she was already doing that. I'm not gonna take credit for none of that. But then the next week she's at like 215.
Yeah, so you get like a YouTube award.
Yeah, and like working with King Botch and like all of them, and then she's like, yeah, I gotta move out to LA, and I'm hearing that over and over again from my friends and people that build it. And I'm like, damn, LA is like a little incubator. Like you just go down there to tap in with everybody else trying to build in Cali. But ever since I've been out here, I've been just working. Like I've been at school and learning and everything. So I'm like, I haven't touched down to LA yet, and I feel like I need to go down there after I finish like building out what I need to build out here, and then go test the waters. But
So I feel like I had that same mindset for a minute of like waiting till I build something out here type thing to go out there. I go out there when I'm in a headspace of like I'm clouded and I can't think artistically, and I need to go and get like some type of like inspiration or something like that, and I just book a trip out there and I just go watch DJs. I just go to the studio to get inspired to be like, damn, like okay. And I feel like LA is one of those ports that like you could just go there and like you could literally walk down the street and you can like meet someone. This is how I met one of my really good friends, JP and Sapphire. Like I met these two girls because I went to the Black Flea Market. It's like this big market that the homies put on and whatever. And they were standing outside and we just were kind of like, oh, I like your outfit. Oh, I like your outfit. Turns out next trip I go out to LA, I'm staying with them at their house. Like we're all kumbaya together. And, like, you know what I mean? And like,
I think God should be that more often.
like, you know, like you, like I said, you'll just meet people on that path. Like literally you walk down the street and you could just, that's how LA it is.
That's how we met.
That's fine.
That is how
fun.
we met.
Like, yeah, it was literally just off of like energy, and we was just like, bro, okay, you're cool. And he's like, you're cool. It was the same thing with Robert. Like, you know, it's something that I feel like I'm really trying to develop as a skill is like, if I see potential in you, if I see the ability for myself to grow, to help you grow, I gotta lock in with you because it's kind of doing it a service. So if that's how LA is, I will be honored to be here touring you or whatever. Because I definitely everybody been telling me I need to touch down there. I've been to New York in a couple of years now, so I'm like, I need to get that taste of home. You know, but New York, see, there we go. We'll switch it over. Because like I lived in Jersey for the longest time, but I lived in Teaneck, which was right across the bridge. So I got like kind of the best of both worlds. So if we touch down in New York, like, it's really good. I think the biggest difference between New York and LA is you go to New York to meet people that can like invest in your dreams, and you go to LA to meet people that can build your dreams. That's what I think the difference is. Like,
then why don't we plan a couple trips? Well, we got a bunch of trips planned this year.
Yeah.
But so you take her to New York. She's never been to New York. You've never been to LA. I mean, we're all right now. And then she takes you to LA because LA and New York are the two pillars of America when it comes to what we all are trying to accomplish. You mean, but like when it really comes to like fashion, music, anything, becoming a star, those are the main two.
Bro, no, I'm down. Like, the thing that I've been trying to build out it's not even low key anymore because I just be like throwing it on the tape for everyone. Like, I really like the idea of labels, right? I love what they do. They grab artistic talent, they funnel, at least the good ones, they funnel them with resources and funds and ways to like boost their music and production. And I'm like, why don't we just do that for creatives in general? Like, if you're talking like, if I got connections in New York and I bring you out to New York, you're amplifying that times 10. And the return on investment for me is a times 10 as well. And I've been trying to figure out how to do something like that. And, you know, I think it's just meeting more like-minded people. So I'll be down for something like that for sure. Podcasts in New York, podcasts in LA. Like,
can you find a fire spot?
I didn't talk this.
Yeah, no, hey, we're plugged in there. I mean, you're talking about like-minded people like coming together. What did I text you after the last time I was on the pod? Okay.
Oh, then we gotta lock in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oh, for too long.
It's like with the very seat.
Like the main thing when I left, like last time we did it, like we had these conversations, probably never on camera before, but like about how we, like, I left the podcast. I was like, bro, I need to kick it up with Josh more. Like, and like you're like, bro, I feel the same way because every time we talk to each other, like we have a competitive nature with each other, but it is the firmest brotherhood that I felt in a long time. So we're constantly like, hey, what are you doing? But we're not checking on each other like, hey, what are you doing to make sure I need to know what I'm doing? We're like, bro, what are you trying to accomplish this month? And then you ask me the same thing. And I just introduced Eddy to you now. And we had those same conversations. Me and you have those same conversations. And you're saying you want to do this more. It's simple in a sense of like, you can think about it and, oh, I got to bring people on the podcast. I just got to like do this. Recently, I've just been hitting up different friends to work out. And like during those workouts, because I use the gym as therapy, I work out solo 90% of the time.
Bro got big. Y'all don't know that.
But like, I've been using those workouts to like dive deeper in with these people. Like I worked out with one homie I went to high school with, and I haven't seen him since he graduated a year before me. And we just talked every once in a while, liked a few pictures on IG. And he just randomly replied to my story one day. And then I was like, dude, let's go get a lift in. Like, I've seen he's been in the gym. I'm in the gym. And I was like, let's go get a lift in. We had like some of the best life talks. And he was like, bro, I'm going to go become a cop. Like, I'm going to do this. And like, I haven't caught up with this dude in so long. And like, he was inspiring me to remember who I was when I met him, because I met him 8 years ago and I haven't seen him in 6 or 7. And that reminded me of where I came from and where I'm at now, because his parallel of me is completely different. So if we're doing that, we're just linking up on random things, then you're constantly going to have like-minded people around because we're all going to win. Like, I know you got everybody in this room has momentum.
Right.
And Eddy knows that, like, just 2 months ago, I was going through it. And all of a sudden, a couple of days after being down, I got hit with some amazing news, like some of the biggest blessings in my life. And then all of a sudden, another blessing came. And then AJ, who was on the podcast with me last time, shout out Jesse AJ. Like, I got him plugged in with something else, and then he got me plugged in with something else, and then started kicking it with some other people, and me and her started kicking it way more than like we were, like, and now the ball's rolling. And in my mind it was until everyone started really getting involved, it was the momentum. My ball is rolling, hop on, and we're gonna make it bigger, and it's gonna get bigger and bigger, and we already do that naturally. So we're doing that right now. And to reflect on something you were saying earlier about losing people, is you got to know that some advice I was told about 1.5 years ago by Caleb, Savant Solutions. He was like, dude, one of the biggest things that held me back my entire life was I wanted to bring everybody up with me to my level, but that halted me from going up because I was waiting for everybody to get to me. Nice. And the four of us are people that are like, I realized that about 1.5 years ago. You already know that, you know that, and you're talking about the lesson you've learned. We can't feel bad for people falling off, like, because not everybody's meant to stay on ship. But we have to understand that we can't, like, it's so natural to feel bad for losing friends because they think you changed up. Like we talked about my branding, your branding, your branding. We're going to lose people. People are going to tell you switched up. They are. But you have to remember that maybe you were waiting for too long for them to catch up. And you didn't switch up. They just didn't catch up. So don't be upset about that. I mean, we've had long talks about this. I mean, we talk every day. I talk to you almost every day, at least a couple times a week. And if that's a main focus of us, to keep elevating each other, and you're surrounded in a society of people that is elevated minds, then we're gonna win, and you're gonna become a famous ass musician. You already said, "Oh, we're going to tour. You're coming. Like you're on squad." All that stuff. I'm like, all right. I was like, bro, like I'm super down. But like, I don't want to be one of those people like reaching out like, hey, I'm moving with friends. Like, you know, like
That is not
like, so no, it's not, because I'm going to build what I'm working on. You're going to build what you're working on. And I'm never going to ask you of anything. I know you're never going to ask me of anything. And he's never going to ask me for shit. I'm never going to ask him for shit because we're competitive with each other. But we're always going to help each other. Oh. Because everything that I'm going to do is going to benefit you and you. Everything that you're going to do, bro, you call me for anything, bro. Like, hey, I just had this event come up. You don't even know if I'm down for it or not. You're just like, hey, bro, this is an opportunity. I know you're the man for this. We make a good team. Let's do it. Any opportunity you're calling me for. I call you for any opportunity. I call you for any opportunity. You do the same. So we're all promoting each other. Then we're good.
No, I 100% believe that. And I feel like that's something that I've been trying to develop as a skill set better nowadays, because I grew up as an only child. I feel like every situation I've ever been in, I was forced into a leadership position, and I felt like I was responsible for people. And I'm like, we're all grown. I don't want to be responsible for you. I want to look out for you. I want to be there to enhance what you're already doing. And I never felt that with most people. And that's one of the things that, you know, being on this podcast, being around E, being around Robert, being around Sammy, like, and then being around you guys right now, I can tell it's very much the same thing where, like, I'm hearing you talk about, like, you want to do Sol Blume and you want to do all of this. Like, my goal is to be able to, like, literally my whole app idea is, like, events and experiences and connecting people to these access and allowing them to form groups like this where you get your own mastermind group, which, by the way, I'm trademarking Elevated Minds and taking that. I appreciate it. I've been getting a lot of good names on this podcast lately, but, like, things like that are my dreams and my goals, because I understand, like, as humans, we're pack creatures. Like, you know what I mean? We don't do very good on our own. Like, our societies literally hold up everything we have. So if we can build out those smaller ones, those smaller communities that are impactful, and we can help boost what you're doing, and then vice versa, like, it's only help. So I'm down, bro. And that's something that I really made a promise to myself, is to build a stronger network this year, not just go grab resources from people, but really try to understand who the people I'm around, and, like, try to really, you know, start making some more friends, because that's something I really kind of forgot over the pandemic. Like, you just sit at home and then you got, like, a couple online friends here and there, and then you leave everybody else off. And, you know, I know for you probably been seeing a lot of clout chasers lately, like the people that you hit here and now all of a sudden.
Y'all know who you are. I don't want to. Y'all know.
it's like, and that's scary to me because it's like, bro, I'm so locked in, so keyed in on my vision right now that I almost react like viscerally. Like I'm upset whenever somebody steps in and tries to like ruin that. Like that will throw me off my game completely because I'm not taking that. Like I've literally sacrificed the last like 3-4 years to even get to a point where I could start. You know what I mean? Like I come from single mother household, immigrant household, mother working like 4 or 5 jobs, like paying myself through college, like doing all of that. So when people are asking me to be around me, I'm like, what have you done? Like, how can you tell me you want to sit at a table with me if you've never been through what I've been through? But I'm realizing now, and I think it's very important that everybody's journey is different and that difficulty is very subjective. Like whatever I go through, that's difficult for me, but your life is difficult for you. Your life is difficult for you. And as long as you can fight through that and get to a place where we are sitting at the same table, that's all I need. So, you know, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of that this year. Like I really feel that that's the whole goal of this podcast is to be around good company and really lock in and really want to say like, shout out to Status, you know what I mean? The best sparkling wine on the planet. For real.
The camera, man, he undersold himself.
Yeah, the GOAT, man. And, you know, for everybody like that's watching this, every single piece of content that we try to put out, the goal of it is to build good company with the company. We might be going through a little rebrand, but that's the whole point of what this is just to show you a raw, authentic cut of everything going on. And, you know, really appreciate you coming on here. Really appreciate you for the introduction. I feel like you're really getting an idea of the type of people that like deserve a spotlight. And, you know, I wanted to give you kind of like a last little clip. If you had anything to say to the audience, anybody to shout out or anything like that.
Let's see.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, my Instagram is DJ Eddy. That'll be changed pretty soon. TikTok is DJ Eddy as well. That'll be probably changed soon. My Twitter is Adriana, EDRIANNNAA.
Right, just put that with it.
I just want dyslexic.
But I do have one more thing to say. Concert in the Park, Sacramento just announced that they are taking applications for people to perform this year, and that's held at Cesar Chavez Park. I was thankful to be a part of it last year as a DJ, but I put my application in to be an artist this year and sing, so go blow up their comments.
Yes.
You know, but yeah, I hope to see everyone out in Sacramento or wherever this tape goes. But thank you for watching us, and my name is Eddy. Yeah.
That was dope. All right, yo, we out of here.
I feel like we have so much more to talk about. Like, what else?